Like she said, I'm TonyaMullins, and our project started as Lights and Learning, and after we kind of got started a little bit, the kids took that and they changed that to fit what they were doing. We are called Plugged In. I have a team of 14 5th and 6th graders, and we have, our goal was to put power and lights in an orphanage in Bogisbo Village in Kenya, Africa. And it was a huge undertaking, and when we started, I thought, I have no idea in the world how this could possibly happen. But with 14 of the very brightest kids in our county, we put our heads together, and I became the light switch. I turned on the lights for practice and off when we ended, and I allowed them just to take this and run with it, and that's what they did. They have learned so many things. But if you look at the screen, there's some basic facts there, and I'm going to allow the kids to actually talk for me. I'm not going to do the talking. I want them to speak to you because it's about them. They have learned to be good, decent citizens and community problem solving. This is my first year as a community problem solving coach. But what I have learned is that community is not just in our neighborhoods or around our homes, but it's global. We have neighbors all over the world, and these children have learned to love outside of borders. They have brought lights to an orphanage where 50 children live, and we got to experience a Skype session on Monday when they turned those lights on, and we thought the screen was frozen. We thought the black on the screen was just a frozen screen, and then Miss Claudia, our liaison, Claudia O'Neill with Seed to Tree Ministries, has gone there on our behalf. She is actually in the village right now, and she was speaking to us through the Skype and said, now I'll turn the lights on. And I realized that was not a frozen screen. That was their life before our project. And now there's lights in that orphanage. And our project that we set out to do has come to completion, but these kids refuse to quit, so I don't know what next. So I'm going to let them speak if that's okay. If you guys want to, Isaiah, Trevin, Allie, Lauren, Chloe, you all want to come on up here? You all come first because there's so many of you, and I'll just let them talk. Is it okay? Trevin, start us out. Just talk about just like you did before.
Okay, so as we started, we thought about what could we do, and so we were thinking of different projects around our community, but then Miss Claudia came and gave a cultural presentation of the kids in Kenya, and so after we found out about them, we actually got Miss Claudia to come back and tell us more about them. And so after we learned about how their lives are different than ours and stuff, we decided we should do something for them. And so we went through different things that we could do to help them out, and we thought of giving them lots. And so after we done that, we had to find different ways we could install power in their village because they have no source of power throughout the whole village. And so we thought about different ways, and we came up with, I think, hydro power, and we came up with wind power, but then we thought of solar power. And so after we thought of that, we started finding different companies that would help provide, and we got in touch with different ones, one from Parkville and one from in Kenya. And so after we found those, we started looking at different quotes that we got and see how much it would cost. And so after we found out the cost, we had to think of different ways to raise money. And so after we started raising the money, Isaiah, do you want to say anything about that?
We also, after we asked companies if they could donate, we started doing fundraisers. And I think the first fundraiser we started it out with was the Craft and Vendor Fair, where different vendors would come and set up a booth and sell their items. And we got the money from the booths they set up, because I think it was $25 to set up a booth. And so we also did the Kiss the Pig contest, where there would be jars set out with the teachers' names on them, and Mr. Cochran had one. and Mr. Cochran ended up getting the most change in his jar. And so he had to kiss the pig, and Miss Mullins got the second most, so she had to kiss the goat. We also did the sucker sales, where we sold suckers for $1, and we ended up selling, I think, over $700 off of that. And so, Lauren, do you want to talk?
Well, the village is Bogisbo, and the orphanage is called Mount Zion. It's housed for around 20 kids, but there's much more than that. We've presented our show to many people, trying to get money, because after our fundraisers, we had to raise about $4,000 to $5,000 for this project. And we went to Hobby Hall, the hospital, and we've gotten money from them and many other places. So
we have also presented to Bob Hutchinson of Hut Chevrolet and McDonald's. We got $1,000 from him, and he said that he would be willing to meet with us again to maybe get a little bit more.
We are also doing another fundraiser. It's a murder mystery dinner. We're going to be hosting it in the gym of our school, and then we'll have like tables set up, and then is it like $5 to get in, or 10 for a table, and then
we're writing the script right now.
Talk to them a little bit about the things that you've learned. What have you taken with you? What have you learned about your devices and all the different platforms that you've learned?
We've learned a lot about different things, like we created the PowerPoint on Google Slides, and then we shifted over to Microsoft to put it on. But we've also used many different things on Google. I've learned how to use spreadsheets and docs and a bunch of other different ways to set up presentations and create. And so we've also
we have learned that we've learned that it's not really about our competition as much as it's about the kids. I mean, of course, it's nice to win the competition, but that's not what our main focus was. Our main focus was just to help out these kids, because we realized how unfortunate that they are, and yet they still are so thankful for what they have. We can get on something like a computer or a phone and not think twice about it. But to them, something like that would be like the biggest luxury. And so I need to ask you guys something. Are you plugged in? Are you making a difference in somebody's life? Are you helping somebody in your community? Yeah.
Thank you.